Hey there, YouTube. Very excited today. This here's a DC Direct statue of The Dark Knight Returns. This is the fight between the Man of Steel and the Dark Knight. This has been on my radar. I know this is late to be buying this, but this has been on my radar for a while. I came across it on eBay, got it for a really good price. It's unopened. I'm a little nervous because, not really, but it's a little dinged up in the back from shipping, I would assume. But, yeah, very big box, very big box. And it's a nice box, won't be holding on to it. But, alright, plan on opening this. Three, two, one. Hey there, collectors. I'm back. This here is the Dark Knight Returns Batman and Superman statue. It's been on my radar for a very long time. I don't know why I didn't buy it. I just kind of got sidetracked. I found it on eBay for a great price, and I finally decided to pull the trigger. I wanted it. I love it. The look of it. I mean, I haven't seen it in person yet, but the Denver Comic Con just happened not too long ago, and they had so many DC Direct statues at all the little vendor booths. I saw the one of Batman on the horse, and I started thinking, man, I never bought that one either. But I went home, and then I was looking up a few statues, seeing how much they were online, and I came across this one. I just couldn't say no. I've had it for a few days now. I couldn't get around to opening it until now, so I hope you enjoy opening it with me, and let's get this going. Alright. I've always loved the Dark Knight Returns book. Oh, it's so amazing. Even that animated film that they made, these new DC cartoons, every one of them I think is landing. But I hear they're going to pump out a Batman cartoon every year, and I am A-okay with that. I thought The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2 was amazing. I watch those all the time. It's something I like to just pop in the background when I'm working on something. Hoping this the top, the bottom feels kind of heavy. I bet it's in the middle right here. Alright, I'm not sure if it comes in pieces or all one thing. I prefer when statues come in pieces because they usually, when shipping, they arrive A-okay. Oh, this is an all one thing piece. Oh. And from here, it looks amazing. Alright, so here we are right off the bat. Let's go ahead and pop this bad boy out. Oh. Okay. Oh. Alright. What is this? Just a little receipt of some kind. Let's go ahead and open this up. Oh, that's odd. So it can come in pieces, but they ship it all in one. Oh, Batman and Superman both. Oh no. So, Sorry for that little break in there. I wanted to inspect this even further. It's looking like to me that I'm not sure if this statue is meant to be in pieces, but maybe that's the price point of why I got this statue for the price I did. But as of right now, mine can be removed from the statue itself. And it's looking like to me that my Superman at one point was a permanent fixture on this base. Go ahead and drop me some comments if yours came differently. This will definitely be something I'll look into, because this, you don't want to it's something that I'm not very excited about at the moment. It's looking like it's okay, but I'm not sure. I really don't feel like as long. Let's take a look at this box here. So yeah. From the display of it, this was once glued in here. And they were both one solid piece. But the statue don't seem to be displaying in such a manner to lead you to believe that that's how it was as of recent. Huh, it's almost like if the figures are the way they're supposed to be on the base, they don't quite, the holes don't line up here. So we got his arm. I would imagine that when this was made, it obviously came in 3 pieces, but I think then the figures might have been anchored in such a way that they were never to be removed again. What's this arm? I don't know if this is a DC Direct flaw or if this is the person who sold this to me. Because this is not what I want out of a statue that has a price point of this much. So let's go ahead. Batman's kind of hooked to the base over here where he's drawing power from the city grid. I got that cool lamppost that he hooked up when he electrocuted Clark. Let's see, this is definitely part of his, what is supposed to hold him in. This is okay, so he would want to go on like that. I guess this is just saying at this point in time, oh, this thing I don't know if this is DC Direct or the guy that sold this to me, but I don't really buy very many DC Direct figures. And if this is where they're at in their creative process, which I don't think so, I don't think it's a DC Direct thing. I think this is an eBay seller not being totally honest about his wares, possibly, but even then, I don't see how these two ever have fit here without stress on them. I almost wonder, I kind of feel like this isn't so much the guy at this moment as it is just the statue. Because if you're looking at this from my point of view, their feet are secured right in there. But yet you get this really long wrist from Batman. I'm kind of willing to say that this is a DC Direct. Because all this isn't adding up. Let me go ahead and show you this. So you can see this, so you can see this kind of elongated wrist. The problem I'm having with it is if you correct it and get it to where it's supposed to be, it tilts Batman completely up off the base where it looks like he was once upon a time anchored in completely. Same with this foot, that's where it's supposed to be. And it's very scary when dealing with Superman, because earlier he just, what is this? We got a gap in Superman's chest right here. I don't really feel like that. Is that how that is supposed to be? I'm kind of feeling like, as much as I loved the idea of this statue, it's starting to be a fail all over the place. I mean, here on the box, we can see it meets up perfect. At the moment, this whole thing is kind of no good. Let's go ahead and flip it around. I was really excited that Carrie Kelly's in here. You can't really see her. Let me get a light on this. That's so cool that she's in there. But all together, and look at this. This is cool too. There's the street lamp. These cords go right back into Batman. Let's try to look at the positives right now while I silently decide what I want to do about all this. I'm almost thinking that it could be fixed. But, be careful. But when spending money on something like this, you kind of want it to be right the first time. You don't... Darn, there's so much I like about this piece, but I don't know, that gap right there. It's like you can put your nail in there. That's so off. It's very cool, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a look at this whole thing because I'm not feeling as impressed. I mean, it might sound like I'm crying about it, but when you're spending money on collectibles at this amount, this is, I don't know. I don't know if I can get by it. I came to terms with it, and I was thinking, you know, it's a really good looking statue from afar, and probably in this video. There is these weird things where I now know after a little bit of research, and I figured as much so after looking at where each of their feet went in, that this statue was never supposed to be in 3 pieces. It was meant to be a solid piece. And the quality control on it is garbage, and maybe mine was damaged in shipping, whatever. But for the most part, I would say this is not the eBay seller's fault. This comes down to the quality control of who finally pumped this out. Being resourceful in who I am, I've decided how I can fix it. I'm not gonna throw this back to the guy who I bought it from. I'm not gonna, I mean, I could go petitioning this and that. That's not who I am. I'm just gonna, you know, gonna accept it. I paid for it. It's how it is. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels this way after looking at a couple pictures. I've seen multiple flaws in them as well, but I know I was talking about this part right here where it just quite does not meet up. That bugs me so bad. But I'm just gonna, you know, I'll pop some epoxy sculpt in there very carefully. I'll sculpt it in, make it look like it's his cape, make it look like it was meant to be there, paint it up. I'll fill it in, I'll fix it, because something like that, I'm not going to just leave it the way it is. I'll get these two both mounted back down and just try to enjoy the piece for what it is. I mean, I've spent more on things and kind of just settled for them back in the day before we all became so acquainted with Sideshow Collectibles, Prime 1. I mean, even Sideshow Collectibles, there's been times where when you get the statue in from, you know, I know prototypes are prototypes, but there's even those times where you get the statue in and you kind of just, you know, like, this is not the quality that was promised, I guess. What should be given on such an expensive item. I mean, when you look at these older Batman statues, these things were gorgeous, and their prices were straight on. It was like Batman cost like $349. Now you got the new Zatanna gonna come out for like $499, and it's just Zatanna, and I get it. I get it that they're evolving in their style and all that good stuff, but I kind of feel like it is what it is. If you're a collector, you deal with it, you keep moving, but yeah, I know I might have ended that video pretty I'm still disappointed, of course. Whenever you spend this much money on something, you want it to be of quality, and I should have known that. I mean, I liked this piece too much to just be like, DC Direct made it, or, you know, whoever they had produced this. But anyway, the sculpt is great. It's beautiful. Its paint is lacking. and the way they put mine together. Mostly, I was upset about the breakage at first, but then when it came down to it, like, you couldn't put Superman's head on his body to the point where there was no gap on him. That's what's got me the biggest on my statue. I mean, if you like it, take a gamble, get one. Hopefully yours comes out better than mine did. But that gap on him is where I'm gonna say this statue, in all awesomeness, it's badass, but it fails. It fails hard with its QC issues. I don't think QC should be a thing that we should have to worry about at a price point of over $100. I think things should be very quality controlled. I don't know where I'm going with this. A bit of a downer, but I wanted to clarify up how I felt about it. I do enjoy it. I'll fix it. I'll get it to a working order of where I can be satisfied with it, I guess. But I'm gonna eat a quick pizza, and then I'm gonna open up Deadshot. We know this Hot Toy will probably be badass. But funny thing about Hot Toys, I mean, their QC is usually great. But a long time ago, whenever you'd buy your Hot Toy, and these are the early, it's still a Hot Toy thing, something falls apart on it. Something falls off, and I mean, they're very expensive, but I was on a forum once, and this dude said, it's not a Hot Toy unless it falls apart. Not in like a way where it's broken, but it's just like when you're trying to mess with Iron Man, his pieces just fall off. They're so delicate, but it was hilarious. Again, not putting anything down. I'm just kind of warning you, if you choose to get this Batman and Superman statue, you've seen how my experience went. I started out so excited, but it dampered very quickly. Yeah. All right. Thank you. And, nah, not going to end it like that. Thanks for tuning in. I got some really exciting things I'll be opening soon. I got a pile of loot that will be coming from Big Bad Toy Store soon. I also, if you watched some of my other videos, I got a big surprise coming. I mean, if you watch the other ones, it's probably not that big of a surprise, but I finally pulled the trigger on it today, and I am very excited about it. But until then, hi, I'm Jesse. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you out there.